Good morning, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nick, for the nice introduction. He's covered all the important data points you need to know. So I'll try to keep it simple and quick. Anyway, first, the plug for the party, which you heard about. I'm sure you'll all be going anyway. We're very excited to be participating in Casual Connect. This is, I think, my maybe 10th or so Casual Connect. I was thinking back, I was here around 10 years ago in Amsterdam before the first German hiatus on a panel once upon a time when I was working at Yahoo, one of the earlier generation of games. So Nick took me down memory lane. Anyway, but today we'll talk about Facebook games and some of the things we're doing across different platforms to help you build great games. So again, I think most of you have probably seen data like this. This is from Newzoo, one of the local companies here who do amazing work on market intelligence. It's just worth calling out again, and it's a good reminder because a lot of you are spending a lot of time in dark rooms, building games, building technology, just to look at just how big the market is today and how much it's continuing to grow. If you think we're at over 90 billion in terms of revenue across all the different devices and platforms today, and growing at almost 10% year over year, when you think of that size and that growth rate, I mean, this is an amazing industry and one that I'm very excited to be in, and I'm sure all of you are, and one with huge opportunity. I think the other interesting point is we're almost at 2 billion gamers. Again, just phenomenal scale when you think of how big the world is and how many people are playing games. It's an amazing thing. The last thing I want to call out, if you can see the smartphone and tablet area continue to grow and are now between them the biggest category of gaming, which is pretty amazing. PC, MMO, obviously huge, console huge, but mobile and tablet continue to grow. So in a world of big numbers, Nick used one of my numbers already, but when we're looking at Facebook, obviously we spend a lot of time talking about Facebook, the blue app, the original app, and the Facebook.com. But we are also a family of apps, and so we have a number of different services between WhatsApp, which recently passed 1 billion users, to Facebook Messenger with 800 million, and Instagram with 400 million. So internally at Facebook, we think a lot about this family of apps, and most of the work today we do with developers is on Facebook itself, but last year at F8 we opened up a first version of a platform for Messenger. Instagram has APIs, so we're definitely starting to think about how we can broaden that experience to really help you as developers leverage the user base that we have. So again, not to forget, but Facebook is a gaming platform, and my team and I, and there are a number of other teams globally, focus 100% of our time on working with games developers like yourselves. So we now have about 445 million people playing Facebook-connected games, either on Facebook.com or on mobile today. So again, very, very big audience and a very engaged audience across multiple platforms playing games that you and other developers have built. All those users, they generate a lot of clicks. And this is primarily when you think of a world of newsfeed, requests, other things, but 735 million clicks every day are generated from different Facebook channels. And then lastly, and I think one of the most important is just the amount of total revenue that we as a platform or you as developers are generating, over 8 billion since we first launched the platform on web. And again, just to give you a sense, Facebook obviously is a big company now and continues to grow, but games is still a very important part. And our last earnings, we announced the payments portion of the revenue that's really almost all from games, and that was about 4% of our revenue. So still very, very important and continues to be a big focus for us. Overall, when you look at the Facebook platform and you look at all the things we've done, there have been over 30 million apps that have been built using the developer tools that I'm going to talk a little bit about today. So again, we've been doing this for a while. We continue to iterate, we continue to try to learn and continue to work with developers like yourselves and others globally to try to optimize our products. So when my team, all we do is basically work with developers. There's 4 of us. We travel around EMEA as much as possible, see as many of you as possible, and really try to make sure that A, we're raising awareness of the products that we have that can help you, and then B, we're taking that feedback back to the product team. But so really, our entire mission is to help you build amazing games, and then that will make people happy. And that's really, it's as simple as that. So that's why we're really that interface between product and you, the developer community. Talking about developers, I just wanted to talk a little bit about one of the partners we work with very closely who've been kind enough to share a few data points with us. So company's called Plarium. You may have guessed. You can see the P. These are some of their characters from their games. So you probably know, but they're based in Tel Aviv. They have studios worldwide. They've just opened a studio in London. They have studios across the Ukraine. They have presence in the US as well. amazingly successful developer, and they've now got 5 games in the top 50 grossing on Facebook. They have 2 games doing incredibly well on mobile. Vikings, you may have played. They have over 1,000 people now, and a lot of this has really been built on Facebook, initially on web, and now building out mobile versions as well of their games. So it's nice, again, they were kind enough to share a couple of data points, which I'm going to share with you. So the Facebook connected players are 10 times more likely to both play and pay, which is great. And then if you look at, in terms of their overall user base, 63% of the players and 50% of the revenue come from organic channels. So again, they really do get a lot of value from the different social channels on Facebook, and continue to build an amazing business. And we're really, really proud to be partnering with them as they move from web to mobile and across platform. So now I want to talk a little bit about some of the tools that we provide to help you build, grow, and ultimately monetize your app. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but the ones on the screen are the ones I'm going to call it a little bit more today. Happy to chat more about anything you're more interested in learning. First thing I'm going to look at builds, which is, again, you're at the first stage. You're figuring out what game do I want to build, what platforms am I going to build on, what tools should I use. There's a million offers, a million options. So just want to call out login in particular because I think it's one of the things that we're most well known for, particularly if you think about our mobile offering. But it's also one of the most powerful, and it's one of the easiest ways to add social context to your game. We all know the power of playing with friends, the ability to really see what your friends are doing, share and communicate back and forth. Again, this is a great way to get that social context and add it easily into your game. So what we see today is over 80% of the top grossing apps on iOS and Android use Facebook login. And again, it's just a nice advertisement for what we're trying to do and help you make more social and compelling games. So just I wanted to share a couple little tips in terms of what you should do if you're integrating login. A couple of the best practices. Again, there's a lot of people out there who use it, a lot of people who know what they're doing, but just again as a quick reminder of some of the things you can do. First, and we've focused a lot on this in the past couple of years, it's really important to give people control because people are sharing their data with you as a developer, and ultimately they have to trust what they're giving you and they have to understand why they're giving you this data. So really think about, we've done a lot to make it easier to control the login permissions people give. It's no longer just a blanket set of permissions. People can choose to edit out. So again, this gives people more confidence both in us and for you as developers. So hopefully that's been a big focus in the last year or so on our side. Most important probably of all for you is tell people why you want them to log in. What's the value? Can they play against their friends? Can they send gifts? Can they challenge them? So that's, I think, the single most important thing that I think people, and particularly developers the last couple of years, have really rethought how to make it a contextual, rich experience. So again, think about the right time as well. You have to tell the people why you want their information and why it's going to make the game richer, but also pick the moment. It's after a big win, they've completed a level, they need some help, they're excited, they want to send a gift. Just again, pick the right moment in context. It's not necessarily right when they install the app. Think about it once they've actually done something meaningful and they might want to share or get help from someone else. Login screen background, this is really more web, and this is one of Game Insight's recent games. What we did is recently we changed it so you can essentially add a background and give people, again, a bit of a teaser of the game. This is on facebook.com. And that really helps, again, give people a sense before they commit to sharing with you their data with you, what is the game they're going to play. So you've probably heard of this game. It's kind of a big one. Miniclip 8-Ball Pool. Again, one of our close partners, London-based company, has done a really, really good job making a very social game. Not dissimilar to Trivia Crack in the sense that it's inherently social and it really, really builds working with your friends. They again shared some data with us. So 63% of their DAU use Facebook login. So again, if you've played, you're basically playing against other people, and there's a huge amount of value in playing and challenging your friends. So not surprising, but again, the majority of players are connected. What's great is that they see a higher conversion rate, 65% higher than other login solutions. And the ARPDAU, again, more interesting, is 70% higher than other logins. And then lastly, and this is pretty amazing, the game is, if you've played it, it's very, very sticky. But they see a D1 retention of 80% for people who logged in with Facebook. And then their D7 and D28 continue to be multiples higher. So again, a good example of a game that is social inherently, but how Facebook login can really help you make the game that much more social, and ultimately, more importantly, stickier for you. So I know a lot of you are building for mobile. There are a lot of people who build for Facebook.com as well. And we really have been very focused over the past couple of years in telling a story about how we have tools across platform. Because Facebook, again, is inherently a cross-platform. We're an app or multiple apps in the different app stores, and we're on the web as well. Over the past 6 months to a year, we've invested a lot of effort to make it easier for mobile developers to figure out how to bring their games as easily as possible to Facebook.com. And really help you and find an easy way for you to reach incremental gamers. We know mobile is very competitive. We know there's huge opportunity there. We also want you to be able to think about how to easily bring your game from mobile to Facebook.com. So again, it's a large audience, goes without saying. The nice thing is on web, you have a complete range of social features, and it's all there. It's relatively easy to integrate. As with anything web, it's very easy to test and iterate. So again, it's a nice way to optimize your experience. And most importantly, I think this has been the biggest change, is there's a lot of different ways you can bring your game over. It used to be you had to have your mobile team over here developing a version, and then you had to build a Flash version. Now that's still what the majority of people are doing today, but more and more there are real alternatives that allow you to build your optimal game on mobile and then easily bring it over to web and take advantage of that incremental audience. So one of them is obviously Unity. Unity, with the release of Unity 5 and then the most recent update to Unity 5, I think 5.3, WebGL is no longer in beta. It's officially part of the package. Again, more and more games, Pirate Kings from Jelly Button, the one I've called out here, is a great example of a game they've brought their game to Facebook.com using WebGL Unity. Really compelling. Really another nice story, which I don't have a slide for, but just launched last week. Top 11. Hopefully, some of you have played it from Nordeus. Amazing, long-standing, successful game. They've just updated their web version and launched with Unity WebGL. The mobile version's been in Unity for a while, and they just last week upgraded and launched the new version, and it's working very, very well. So again, as with each release, I think, and we're partnering closely with Unity, the technology gets better and better, and it's becoming a great way to expand that reach and expand your audience. We're also, again, we're seeing more and more games launching with HTML5, depending on the different technologies. Some use inscription to bring it to web, but again, Family Guy is a really high-quality game. It's been live on Facebook.com for probably 6 or 9 months now. Again, built in HTML5. So, really lots of different opportunities and lots of great ways to think about expanding your reach and bringing your games across platform and taking advantage of all those social features. So again, happy to chat more about it. We're investing a lot of effort, both on my team and the partner engineering team, to really help developers with this, because the technology is moving fast and there's a number of different solutions. So happy to chat more if that's of interest. So now, moving to grow. So you've built your great game, talked about how do you actually get that out to users. So clearly, the first one, I think a lot of what people think about when they think of Facebook is sharing. First, it's important to ask why. Why do people share? Clearly, again, talking about context, it's all about expressing yourself. They've done something great. They have an opinion. They want to share. They want to maintain relationships, and this is kind of that weird use case where you're playing, you name a game. Words with Friends with your mom or your aunt or whatever it is, and you actually end up communicating back and forth through the game. So again, maintaining relationships is an important reason why people share. You get that interaction. And then lastly, and again, this is a very standard use case, is you can help other players, be it if you're in a clan or a group, or something more casual like sending a gift back and forth. So there are 3 main types of sharing on Facebook. 1 is link share, 2 is image share, and 3 is open graph. Again, all are good solutions, all are great ways to allow your players to share content and share exciting moments in their game. And then, from your side as developer, the key for you is to think about how do you create shareable moments. Again, it's all about that context. When do people want to share, and when is that the right moment for you to surface this opportunity? Alphabet, great example. They've done an amazing job with really, simple technology, but finding the right moment when people are excited to share. And really, really fun content that's unique and doesn't feel formulaic when it is shared, so they get really, really great traction. Another way to really leverage social features is game requests. I think most of you probably know about this. It's one of the only tools I've talked about today which is specific to game developers, Only people who are actually building a game can use this. And what it is essentially, it's a way for you to send or let players send either invites or requests for help or gifts back and forth. So Empire 4 Kingdoms is a game by Good Game Studios. They've recently integrated the Facebook SDK. They're now allowing people to invite their friends. So essentially, through the game, in context, you can invite other friends to play against, working really well. Again, you can ask for help is also a standard user flow, like a King-style game would ask for help. A lot of the Match 3 or social casino games also use this very actively, and it's a really powerful channel both to generate installs and also for re-engagement. More recently, we've rolled out a product called App Invites, which is different from Game Request in that any mobile app developer can use it. It's only available on mobile, but anyone can build it, but we're seeing more and more games take advantage of it. What's great is that it's really personalized, and it's kind of a higher signal way to invite your friends. So think of almost as word of mouth in the sense you're playing a game and you really like it and you want to tell your friends about it. So this is an example, Nibblers by Rovio. And what you can see, the nice thing is you can actually, the developer can specify a really nice image, and you, as a player, can actually write a text saying, this is the best game ever, love this, why don't you come play it? So again, this is a nice complement to requests, because the other big thing here is people don't have to be logged in with Facebook. The permissions are contained within the flow. So even if you have 10% of people logged in on your game, this is something to think about, because in the right context, again, you can get people to invite their friends to the game. So shifting gears, analytics for apps. Again, players don't see this, customers don't see it, but obviously an important, vital tool as a developer is understanding what your players are doing and how everything works. We've invested a lot in this the last couple of years. We continue to invest a lot in analytics. We've had for years a Facebook Insights product, which was just for people who are logged in. The big difference here is that this is essentially an analytics solution for anyone who's using your app. So you can really track every action and every activity. So what it has today, we have event-based metrics. So again, you can track any event you want using app events. Segments, again, you can segment whichever user base, understand which different profiles are doing, funnels, and of course, cohorts. So again, it's a robust analytics solution. The key differentiators, I think, from our side are obviously that we have demographic data. So anyone who is connected to Facebook on their phone, you can see it, you'll have that access to that demographic information. So you can see accurately, is your game predominantly attractive to males, females, young, old? So that's really, again, really powerful. It's also available, works across device, which is compelling, but from pixels on web to obviously Facebook Canvas, and then on mobile, and lastly, it's free, which is obviously not a bad thing. So I want to touch quickly on app events, because this is one of the things that is the key underpinning of all this. And again, you can basically integrate hundreds of tracking tags in your game. Allows you to track really anything you want, and then you can build cohorts and funnels and everything off the back of it. So Good Game, again, who I mentioned earlier, are in the process of rolling out a new puzzle game, which is in soft launch currently, and they integrated app events at the very beginning. And they've seen amazing results, because what they've actually done is they've used this as a way to understand where people are dropping off in the funnel and the install. And they've actually been able to see a 45% increase in conversion, just because they were able to focus and understand how important it was to optimize loading time. So another great example, and not a traditional use case. I think a lot of people have started using app events primarily for marketing, but we are seeing more developers use it really for more traditional funnel optimization in-game. So segments, again, relatively self-explanatory, but again, it's really powerful. Again, so you can understand what different parts of your audience are doing or not doing. Funnels, again, this is, for all of you who know the importance of funnels, I probably don't have to belabor the point, but you can build really robust funnels, understand exactly what's happening at every step of your game, start to build towards LTV or whatever part of the flow you're most concerned about. Again, cohorts, great way to look over time at what people are doing. You make a change in your app, and then you can optimize and understand what that cohort's doing. So again, I'll say free again, but it is, again, it's something that we focus on. We're investing a lot in it, but it's completely free to use. It does, again, this is important for people who've been developing with Facebook for a while. It's not just people who are logged in with Facebook, it's every single user. Once you have app events, it tracks everyone. So again, it's a comprehensive solution. In terms of demographic breakdowns, again, you can understand with real data who your people are, I guess is the right way to put it. You can look at across device, and then lastly, a lot of people have done this, but again, can't overstate how much this helps if you're building, from a marketing standpoint, custom audiences or lookalikes. You can start to use those segments, and it makes it a lot easier to really do effective marketing with Facebook. So lastly, the money. Obviously, we have a robust web platform. I talked about the revenue that comes from that, and developers still build very big games there. Talking about mobile, though, for a minute, want to just call it the Audience Network. There are people here from the team for the next couple of days, so if you are interested in learning more about the Audience Network, I can certainly put you in touch with them. Key thing to call out is this is really a great way for you to, and you heard from Max from EtterMax, that it's a great way to monetize your game. And think about Facebook Audience Network is essentially taking all the power of Facebook advertising and integrating it into your game, because it's all people-based marketing, and you can leverage all of the scale of Facebook advertisers in order to really help monetize your game. So we have 3 different formats, banner, interstitial, native. We've actually just started testing on mobile web, which is a big thing for us and a big move beyond the app world. Native has proven particularly powerful just because it's a really compelling way and a really high-quality way to surface advertising in your app. Here are a couple examples. Again, we're really seeing excellent results with this. And then I just want to finish by just talking a little bit about Kim Kardashian, game you've probably played. And they've seen amazing results, CPMs that are twice as high with the Audience Network. And obviously, they're seeing it as a really great user experience, which I think is important for all of you who are building games, and you want to make sure that the ads are complementary and not disruptive. Native ad formats work really well in that context. So that's my whistle-stop tour, Build, Grow, Monetize. Again, there are more products, more features. Clearly, I'm happy to talk more, take questions. But yeah, definitely think about it. Have a look on developers.facebook.com, and thank you for having me.
Well, I saw the conference attendee list, and I saw that 75% of the attendees here are developers. So you kind of mentioned that URL, but where's the first place you would go as a developer to say, hey, okay, I want to integrate Facebook. Where do I go? And when I get there, what tools will I find when I go there? So
yeah, thank you, Nick, for the prompt. So as I mentioned, developers.facebook.com. We've just revamped the website, so everything I've talked about today is available there. So from login to Audience Network, we have best practices, case studies, it's all there. So that's it. Or just come to me. That's the other way to find out more.
And would you like to tell us what's happening in the secret room in the back with Oksana?
Oh, yes, I would like to tell you about that.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. So Oksana, one of my colleagues in the marketing team, is doing a workshop later today. Do you know what time it is?
3 o'clock, I believe.
3 o'clock. There's a little sign that says Facebook. So again, if you want, this is sort of, I talk about the platform and product side. There's a team based in Dublin, of which Oksana is a part, who do everything to do with Facebook marketing, and they're doing an in-depth session this afternoon, I think at 3 p.m. You can see the sign, it's just in this adjacent room.
It may be 2, so we'll find out.
Okay.
I'll announce it later. I think it's either 2 or 3, and it's going for sort of 2 hours.
But again, really useful, because again, if you're starting to scale your app and looking at Facebook marketing, they can tell you everything you need to know.
Now, I understand it's pretty busy, so it may be there, but we may able, if there's room in the room, we'll be able to get walk-ups and things from there. It is 3 o'clock, yes, it's 3 o'clock.
There we go.
So any more questions for Bob while you're here? I know you're very shy, but any questions for Bob? Well, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.